Commission compromising Cameroon, Chad, Nigeria, and Niger Republic. Now, we've seen also how flooding and not having the right waterways have affected our economy in the past years. Last year in 2000, that there will be food shortage in 2023, meaning everything has to be done to make sure that the economy doesn't even suffer food shortage and scarcity of money around. Now, the EIB, that is the European Investment Bank, together with the EU, have signed a deal to mobilize €4 to support businesses. Now, these businesses is not only in the African country, but even in the Caribbean and other specific countries. However, we are in Africa as Nigeria, and our focus is how this will come to us as a continent and even as a country. Now, there is a breakdown of how this money will be. 3.5 billion euros will be loanable fund and digitalization, climate and energy, transport, health, and partner countries of the EIB and the EU. Now, we just talked about the Yobe Basin, where we can see the effect of climate change, and not all the time is it climate changes, but even man-made activities. However, these fundings are going to go a long way into helping the economy, because Africa as a continent, we need this development, as there is a ripple effect to every business deal interaction, because we have treaties, we have business transactions that go on between countries. So when we have grants and funds coming to Africa as a country, Nigeria, as the giant of Africa, is also in the lead and the forefront of getting access to these funds and grants coming from international banks and investment banks and all of that. Now, we have a story again concerning the Silicon Valley Bank collapse and how it may affect financial inflow and jobs in Nigeria. A little bit about the Silicon Valley Bank and how the collapse came about. Silicon Valley Bank, which was known as the first largest bank, and it also plays its part for lending money to the biggest technology startup, collapsed last Friday after defrauding all. There was a huge recession in the global market as well. The Silicon Valley Bank, which is based in California, became one of the biggest banks' failure after the 2008 financial crisis, and barely 2 days after the announcement was made, it saw a sharp drop in deposit, resulting in share sale began to be organized, resulting in both investors and the tech and startup-focused lender was ordered to shut down by California regulations, and it was asked to keep it under the control of the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. In response to how SVP crisis unfolded, there was an oversight jolt when SVP shares plunged a whopping 60% in market trade, after which the depositors started competing to withdraw money. Now, the big question is, how may this collapse affect startups in Nigeria? And it's not surprising that this is a tech and startup-focused lender with over 80 African startups affiliated to it through Y Combinators. One of the founders of Y Combinator says that 30% of YC companies exposed to SVP can't make payroll in the next 30 days. Now, a lot of us know Chipper Cash. We've made use of it to buy for e-transactions, top up, transfer funds, and all of that. Now, Chipper Cash is one of the many African startups which we use here in Nigeria that are under Y Combinators. Now, over the years, there's been a lot of e-businesses springing up in Africa. And even if we have a few in Nigeria, there are so many affiliates, there are so many link up with these companies in Africa, and then it all leads back to Silicon Valley Bank. And we have a likes of Chipper Cash we all use, and we have many other that are affiliated not only to Chipper Cash, but other internet businesses, banks, e-transaction, e-commerce stores, and we have so many employment nowadays. Even before the COVID-19, we had a lot of freelancers e-content producers, writers, and creators whom have been working online and have been employed due to such big banks like the Silicon Valley Bank. And now with this crash and collapse, it is not surprising or is not far to say that yes, they were affected with the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank. In a report from the United has been affecting the economy, it has been affecting consumers and also affecting our small and medium-scaled businesses. Now, the cost of Naira shoots up, so also with the prices. It's almost like we are buying Naira and there is a Naira to Naira exchange price because the banks are not cash elsewhere to be able to make cash available to us. Now, we have a warning coming from the CBN, from the IMF to the CBN concerning our rising inflation. Now, we've seen that a lot of the financial crisis that has been going, having the CBN and the CBN governor and the president silent concerning the Naira redesign, whether we should continue using the old notes or not. However, we are having a warning from the IMF that we should watch our inflation. Nigeria should watch the inflation rate, meaning we should work on our monetary policy as not only it affects that the CBN and the federal government entirely will listen to the warning coming from IMF concerning our inflation as a country, and that something will be done by now.